Hey friends, and welcome back to the Gentleman's Journey. In this one, we're talking about my all-new Ryker AT boot by Frank's Boots. Guys, I'm so excited about this boot. I've even dubbed it the Holy Grail boot. Now that's not maybe the Holy Grail boot, but my Holy Grail boot. Because as you'll see in past videos, I sat down with Frank and Michelle and I actually designed every aspect of this boot with them. So guys, I had the run of the place. They rolled out the red carpet, rather every roll of leather, and they gave me the choice. And guys, that again is for you too. So whether you're placing an online order or you're headed over to Spokane to do it yourself, that's for everybody. Now guys, right off the bat, I just want to let you know that I didn't buy this boot. We were doing the tour video and Frank said, I want to build you a set of boots. But the deal was that I had to give an honest review. So that's what we're going to do. Now guys, on this channel, I'm not going to be backed into the corner or forced to sing anyone's praises. That's not why I started a YouTube channel. I really want to give honest reviews and get you guys out of consumerism and into products that you can stand by, that you're happy with, and that you're proud to wear. Now guys, just like any Gentleman's Journey video, we're going to talk about the build quality, the construction, sizing, fit, kind of why I went with these options. And then of course, we're gonna take them out on a little adventure. So we love to get these things out, get them into the elements and put them through their paces. We'll always do a 1-year review. Sometimes we come back in with some comparison videos, some 6-month stuff, a lot of stuff on the channel. We'd love to have you guys along for the journey. At any rate, let's get into the boots. Now, what I like to do on the channel is I start top down, kind of what you would see if you had them on. It's just easy to start that way. So at the very tip top, you'll see this smooth brown chocolate leather. Now this is Frank's work leather. You'll find this on the work boots. You can get like a padded collar up here. You can get rolled collar. There's already options just at the top. The next thing that you'll notice is the laces. Now guys, these are leather laces. They're super long and they're a bit rubbery. You know, they're well oiled and they're super tough. I haven't obviously taken them on and off 50,000 times and it's my first set of leather laces, but just tugging at them, I was impressed. Of course, I've seen a lot of guys use them, but there's a little doubt in my mind due to some of the leather I've played with. Just didn't think they'd hold up. We'll talk about that as the time goes on with these boots. Frank did send me out some traditional work color style, you know, nylon, whatever laces. I ran the leather right now. We'll see these in the future just for fun. The next thing you start noticing when you look down is the speed hooks and the eyelets. Now guys, these are brass. They have antique brass. They have black. If you check back the previous video, it's called Frank's Leather Options. Guys, you'll see some of those different ones displayed. I think through the factory tour video, you'll see some of those displayed. Just more of the uniqueness that you can add in your own touch. The next thing underneath the laces is this keel tie. I don't think I'm saying it right. Essentially, this protects the boot from the laces. As you're lacing up every day, as you're going through your routine, you're going to be putting extra pressure on this leather. Now this is, as Michelle was telling us, it's a really smooth leather. It folds easy and you want to give that just some extra protection. They do go ahead and notch out the bottom just as a design aesthetic. Guys, I haven't been too keen on this. My wife loves it, so I'm going to give it a go. But they sent me out 2 pairs because Frank, we talked about how I didn't really like this. I'm going to go ahead and round that off a little bit. And then what I can do is have a smooth round option where you don't really see it out the bottom, or I can run these ones. How cool is that? So guys, the next thing you'll start noticing is this is an 8-inch boot. I have a lot of 6-inch boots in my collection. I have some 10-inch snow boots. I have cowboy boots, but I really wanted to give this a go. I think it gives more opportunity to see that awesome canvas that we're gonna get into in a minute. And I really wanted to see how I like that height for hiking and different stuff. Of course, the higher you get, the more protection you have from snake bites and stuff like that. At any rate, it's kind of a design choice and my collection's growing to the point where it's kind of like, why not give that a try? So you move down there and you'll see that, again, we have this chocolate smooth leather wrapped around the green canvas and it's attached with their awesome stitching. Now guys, Frank's, along with other boot companies, give you an option to change out the color and the style of lacing. If you need a wildland firefighter specific boot, you can get lacing that's rated for that will go through all the approval processes and all that, so you can hit the field and go put out some fires. But this duck canvas, guys, Frank's talks a lot more about it on the website than I can probably remember here. It's a military grade canvas, and it's super abrasive. It can handle a little bit of fire. It can handle, you know, scuffing. It's kind of like a ripstop, but it's really hardcore yet breathable. The way he puts it, it's the second most durable material next to leather. Now, a little bit on how I got into this boot. As you'll see, I had the run of the place. Now, before I went into Frank's, I saw his boot like this, the Ryker AT, on Instagram. So Frank developed this boot and he made himself one, and it looked awesome. So guys, I kind of went in there thinking that was the direction I wanted to go. And I've been thinking about this style of boot because the Wolverine 1000 mile boot has a canvas upper. Now guys, it's in my shopping cart on Amazon, and I've almost pulled the trigger on that more times than I can remember. Haven't yet, maybe we'll do that in the future. But guys, I really wanted, this seems like a classic kind of vintage hunting boot to me. I really like this style. I can't wait to see how the canvas performs. Again, it's 8-inch, so we'll get a really good taste of how that does. I had, specifically with the Wolverine, I started being concerned that maybe where they stitched it and where it just wouldn't hold up as well, it would pull out. And a lot of guys were saying on the reviews that it just wears just like any other boot. Again, it's surrounded with some leather. This just comes together so perfectly. I absolutely love it. So again, we're still looking down, then you start noticing that brown rough out leather. Now guys, again, this is their work leather. You'll see this on the firefighter boots, the wildland. You'll see it on the work boots. It is thick, 7.5 to 8 ounce leather. So guys, it's ultra tough. I mean, you're looking at some of this boots that we've talked about on this channel, and this is the top of the mountain right here. This is thick leather. You start getting thicker and it's gonna be really hard to wear. So I'm super impressed with that. Comes around the heel. Of course, we have the smooth upper. Right here, guys, I forgot to mention, it was supposed to have a pull tab. Now, guys, that's something that I really want to bank on because we're going to talk about the pros and cons. But Frank's, they actually called me. They reached out to me one day and said, hey, we made the boot and we forgot the pull tab. What do you want to do about it? And they were willing to do all these different options. Well, when I was designing this boot, you know, I really wasn't sure with the 8-inch if I wanted that, because it might kind of get in the way of my pants and different stuff. So I wasn't sure if I even wanted it in the first place. Of course, I use it to get my boots on. I said, look, just run it the way it is. I'm happy. Now, I could always get one sewed onto the back so I can really pull it up. We'll see after 3 to 6 months if it annoys me and if I thought I would have wanted one. So coming down, something you'll notice again is the stitching. You have that stitch down. It's kind of like a Goodyear welt. This boot is completely resolable, reconstructable. You can get all different pieces in the reconstruction process. Whatever you wear out can be put back on. Guys, you'll have your boot just almost like new. That's a big part of Frank's Boots Company, and they love to tackle your old boots. If you get it resold by your local cobbler, you know, they might not have the same last, and your boot will come back fitting different, and then you'll just never be happy with it. So guys, I would strongly encourage you, if you can, it's a simple process. In 5 to 7 years, when your boots start needing some love, just send them back to Frank's and they're gonna hook you up. So another thing you'll start looking down and seeing is the toe. Now friends, this is the size 3 toe. If you check back the tour video, you'll see that they have size 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1 is kind of pointy and low profile. It starts getting bigger, Number 4, Frank was saying, is their most popular for the wildland firefighter boots. Guys, this already has plenty of room for me. I really like this toe, and I can't wait to get it out on the trails and just use it everyday life and see how I like it after some time. Moving through the middle, we get into the midsole. The midsole is leather and it has a leather shank. It has a really good arch profile on this boot, and it's just something, if you've been in Red Wings, if you've been in Thorogoods and stuff like I have, it's a whole different story here. So it just feels amazing on your feet. Kind of the nuts and bolts, 8 inches, 3-inch toe. or number 3 toe, and then you get into the last. This is built on the 55 last. So if you have another 55 last, or you have one from Frank's, you can probably just get the same size boot, get yourself the Ryker AT, and it'll feel comfortable because you're already used to that 55 last. Next up, friends, is the heel. This is the logger heel. They have the dogger heel. They have a bunch of different ones. They have one that's a lot shorter that would be a lot closer to your, your Red Wing Iron Rangers. I went with this because Frank sold me. I already wanted it, but Frank really explained to me the benefits of it. It puts your foot in the posture that it wants to naturally be in. So it's more comfortable. It's better for your back. It gets you upright. Actually, right now I'm wearing my Iron Rangers. But guys, it gets you in the position that's really healthy for your back. I think you would see more of these, but companies like Red Wing will throw out that low profile heel on a shoe, on a boot, because it's easier to sell. If you're coming from a tennis shoe over to a boot and you're already used to that more flat profile, you hop into this and you might either think, boots aren't for me, it's for these guys, it's a working boot, I don't understand it, it's confusing. Well, Frank's does a good job of explaining the benefits of that, and I really think good things come with hard work and with time and energy. And then you start to realize that your back's feeling better, that you can stand up straighter, and that your whole body is in the position that it's supposed to be in. So guys, I can't wait for this. Of course, I have cowboy boots and stuff like that. But in this this is a nod to the wildland firefighting boot. This is a true blue Pacific Northwest boot. And so it has that logger heel. Guys, this boot is just as tough as any of those others. It's a work boot. I think it's pretty stylish on some hand. It doesn't have, smooth grain leather and all that, but this boot is a tough boot. And so obviously it's a nod to the Pacific Northwest work boots, and it has that logger heel, and I absolutely love it. So that brings us all the way down to the bottom. Probably the part I'm most excited about that I can't wait for, and that's the outsole. I went with the Honey Vibram Lug outsole, and I couldn't be happier. They have the black, they have the fire and ice, they have all your options for whatever you need. Of course, you could put the V-bar on here, you could put the Vibram Mini Lug, bunch of different ways to go with that. If you look, Frank's, he built his with the Vibram V-bar. On their website, they actually show it with the Mini Lug, but I really wanted some go anywhere, do anything, kick butt boot, and the color aesthetics and stuff like that is what I went through, and so I couldn't be happier with how that turned out. Guys, a little thing here that I want to talk about that I think could be better, that I think they could have spent a little more time on, and I'll prove that because they did along here, is the green canvas sticks out the bottom. Now guys, I'm one of those ones that might, I lean more when a guy comments online, oh, what about this on my boot? And I'm like, kind of more or less quit whining like it's a boot. So I'm not saying it's the end of the world for me, but I just think, of course, guys bring up the cost of these boots and stuff like that. You'll see that they were able to trim the green canvas along the eyelets very well, and it's sticking out the bottom a little sloppy. So that's something that I think could have been better right there. As far as quality control and the stitching and stuff, I'm not seeing loose stitching, guys. I'm not seeing any eyelets that are out of place or anything smashed. Everything lines up. The heel is looking amazing. The outsole is looking really good. Yeah, no complaints there, guys. I think I did skip over the natural edge. So I went with the natural edge. You can put brown, you can put black. Guys, really, if you go natural or brown, it's all gonna come out brown. After you start wearing these boots, especially in some kind of industry, logging, oil field, even construction, that sucker is gonna turn color right away. You could probably sand it out and get some of that natural color back. I think it's a little bit of a red or a mahogany, but I think just out the gate, why not start with a really cool natural edge, and we'll see how that progresses over the next 6 months to a year. I really think that we covered a lot of the build quality. Let me know in the comments if there's any questions you have about this boot that I didn't cover as far as the construction. I want to move on to the sizing. Now again, if you check back the video of the tour, we did a tour and then sizing. So guys, Frank, they have this paper that you can fill out. Measure yourself with a fabric, go into your wife's sewing closet or whatever and get out the sewing and measure your foot and write it down to the specifications that he's looking for. I really don't think you can go wrong by ordering online. You can call them, you can email them with any of your questions. I think you're gonna be really satisfied with your fit. I went with an 11.5. That gave me room for a thicker sock and maybe even an insole at some point. Guys, I wanted this to be kind of, it's not my, I have an LL Bean winter boot, but if I wanna work in the winter or something, so I got this where it could move into different seasons. Maybe, we'll see in 3 to 6 months how I feel. I may have gone with an 11. There is extra room with my thin, guys, I need to up my sock game. I have some thin socks, so I might go with 11 in the future. I went with 11.5, so I'm really pleased with it. I really like the toe box, I like the arch profile. The only thing next is to get them out there and get, you know, try them on and just put them through their paces. I really hope you guys will consider checking back at the original video, and then we just did the leather options video, and I just thank Franks and Michelle and, you know, the whole crew there. Guys, these are some hardworking Americans who earn every single dollar that they make there. Just thank you all you guys for having us, and thank you for the work you do. You guys you make some awesome boots, and it's a really good product. Of course, it gets the Gentleman's Journey stamp of approval. I couldn't be happier with this boot. Friends, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take them out. We're gonna go on a journey. I think this is something that some of you guys hang back for. It's one of the funnest parts for me making these videos, is just putting them through their paces. You know, that's what they're for. That's why we get the boots. I got some neat little trails and stuff planned for this one. I'm gonna loop back in the end, give you guys my initial thoughts, how they hike, how they perform. Again, Franks has a big process. You know, he talks about wetting it with 50% water, 50% alcohol, and not to put any oil, not to put any conditioner on it until it gets really dirty after the break-in process. So at any rate, you wear it half a day and then, you know, maybe have a different set of boots. Guys, I've seen it across the board. You know, it's been different for me, and it's just something you got to work through yourself. But it's nothing to be scared of. It's nothing to be feared. I always tell guys, if you're working, you got to have 2 sets of boots anyways, just so you can give one a rest while you're cleaning it and wear the other one. So if you already have another set of boots and you buy the Franks, you know, have them, take them to work with you. Then you can switch them out half day if you need to. You might not need to. And then I always am a proponent of boot trees. Make sure and watch my boot tree video if you want more information or why that would be good. If you got a lot of moisture in there, why not throw some boot trees in at night, and it'll keep the shape. And just, you know, again, watch that video and we'll talk more about that. At any rate, guys, let's get out there, let's hit the trails and put these things to some work. All right, friends, we made our way over to the Sangre de Cristo Wilderness. This is about an hour, maybe hour 15 from my house. Guys, we're gonna head up this trail. Now, this trail is one of our favorite that we've hiked here in what we call the valley. This is the San Luis Valley in Colorado. Guys, I am stoked for this one, but even more stoked for these boots. Now, friends, I'm taking off the red backs and I'm putting these guys on. We're gonna give Franks the ultimate test. We're hiking up this trail. It's a pretty decent trail. So again, Franks talks about putting like an alcohol mixture with some water. I know that's the advice, and I'm not taking it today, but we're gonna go for it. I haven't done something like that in the past, so we'll talk about that and see if that is something maybe I should have done. But guys, I think it's gonna be a really good one. Lots of cool B-roll and stuff to capture here. Real quickly, I wanted to talk about the care. You know, they really talk about open-offs a lot. So of course we cover a lot of different care options on this channel. And open-offs is one that we haven't covered yet, but that's kind of what they want you to do. Guys, I'm wearing some Levi's, some brown Levi's today. That's gonna pair really well with this boot, I think. I'm not saying that I'm not into style or pants and stuff, but it's not something I've covered or that I know extensively. We might get into that in the future. A lot of guys always ask in the videos what pants I was wearing. A lot of the style for these boots, a lot of guys who style them want to do like a skinny jean or some kind of pant like that. But really, this is a work boot. So I got this boot knowing all well that I could wear Carhartts with them. So I don't have my Carhartts on today, but that's a boot that that's a pant that I really think a guy could run with these. Or of course some jeans. They're not gonna need condition for a while. So you can run these for quite some time without needing condition. Again, we'll get into that maybe the 1 year review, or I'll do a special conditioning video on these. But essentially, the open offs is what you're gonna go for. And depending on your trade, depending on how you're wearing the boots, they might need it a month, they might need it once a week. Guys, you'll have to figure that out. I'm excited to hit this trail, show you the trail and see how the boots come. Let's go along. Come on, buddy. So we made our way about 3/4 of a mile up this trail, guys. We're up into the Aspens. It's my happy place. It's my favorite trail that I found so far in this area. Guys, the dogs are getting muddy. The boots are getting muddy. They're performing exactly how they're meant to. We're gonna keep giving you updates along the end. So make sure and hang back for that. We'll talk about fit and stuff like that. But guys, there's a lot more to see, so let's keep going. This section right here, friends, come on. You remember this on the way up? Woo! It's probably only a few seconds ago for you guys, but let me just tell you, this is so good. Look at that trail just lined with golden leaves. Man, how good is that? Well, friends, we made our way back down to the bottom. We're back at the car. We got rained out a little bit, but friends, I can tell you this much. We really did get a really good test on these boots right out the gate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take them off. Not really because I feel like I need to, but because I brought the redbacks with me. So essentially a good break-in process. Something like this, you know, a couple mile hike, this ended up being just under 4 miles, is a really good way to go with it. Again, guys, probably just follow Frank's recommendation, wet them down, 50% water, 50% alcohol. I didn't need to do that. Let's talk about fit a little bit. So I told you guys it might be a half size too big, and I think overall it probably is. I probably feel a little more comfortable in 11 rather than 11 and a half. But all I need to do is put a thick sock in there, but it wasn't anything where I'm even worried about blisters. So essentially a thicker sock and I think I'd be good to go. You still have that option to do maybe an insole or different things like that, but we're not gonna know from the first, you know, a couple hours of these boots. Now we were traipsing around rock, we were traipsing through mud, obviously. I did keep them overall pretty clean because they're brand new boots and I wasn't too keen on getting them that dirty. But guys, I definitely put them through their paces, and this is our lifestyle. This is the kind of stuff I like doing, so this is what these boots are made for. They're gonna be a bit of hiking boots. They're gonna be just all around. I'm gonna beat them up, and so in a year when we go back and talk about these boots, we're really gonna know a lot about them. So friends, I really hope you enjoyed this little outing. I sure did. Again, if you find yourself in the valley this time of year or any other time of year, check it out. It's a really good trail. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up on the channel, so make sure you're subscribed and you'll be notified when all those videos come out. Until the next video, God bless, and hey, don't forget to give those boots some love from time to time.